Welcome to the channel. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell because today's analysis is intense. We're diving into the story of one of England's most traditional clubs, currently living perhaps its most delicate moment in decades. Manchester United is probably the team most at risk of falling out of the Big Six in the coming seasons. A club coming off major failures, struggling during the transfer window, having a hard time selling and signing players, and just finished a season in 15th place, tied on points with ES, a team typically fighting at the bottom of the table, and still managed to lose a Europa League final to one of the worst versions of Tottenham in modern history. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel for Ruben Amorim's team? Is there any real solution for the Red Devils? Today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. We'll try to figure out what possible path Manchester United could take to turn things around this season, even with so many issues. I think we first need to understand the current context at Manchester United. How can a team that spends so much money end up with such an average squad? That's probably the most accurate word to use. Average. That's a big question right now, because it's definitely not a lack of money. When you look at signings like Højlund, who cost a fortune, you can't say it's about not spending. It's about bad spending. And the truth is, Manchester United is one of the worst recruiters in Europe. The type of signings they make and the players they ignore in the market is just baffling. I remember when they signed Højlund, I had several better options in mind. Even someone like Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea seemed more suitable at the time. They signed a player who didn't really fit the manager's system, a coach who wanted a different kind of striker, maybe one who offered more in a possession-based, tactical game. They went after someone coming off a good season at Atalanta, but who was far from a guarantee. Fans even dubbed him Showpea Højlund, comparing him to a discount Darwin Núñez. He's simply nowhere near the level expected. A massive disappointment, and that kind of sums up United's transfer policy. Sometimes they sign a player who's thriving elsewhere, but once they land in Manchester, they flop. Sancho is a perfect example, an absolute monster before joining, then became unrecognizable. Whether it's overpaying for the right player or signing the wrong one altogether, it all led United to where they are now, crumbling. That was a brief summary of how Manchester United reached this point. Just a quick overview. There are other videos on the channel breaking this down in more detail. Now, let's talk about the current squad issues. The first and most damaging problem, United's inability to sell players. They've always been bad at selling, but now it's worse. If you don't sell, your wage bill remains full, you can't bring in new players, and you don't generate money to reinvest. After massive spending during Ten Hag's time, there's not much left in the budget. Unlike clubs like Liverpool who save more and now have room to spend. United has to sell to buy. And they also need to reduce the wage bill, which is extremely high. That's what's making it hard for players to leave. They're earning massive salaries without ever proving themselves, and no other club wants to match those wages. If someone wants them on loan, they offer to pay only half the wages. So United ends up paying for the player to perform at another club. It's a terrible situation. There are several players who should have left already but haven't. Maguire, for example, his wages were just too high for most clubs. Same goes for Rashford. He had a great season, got a big new deal, and then did nothing the following year. He looked disengaged. And there are others in the squad who no longer want to be there but stay due to high wages. That impact the coach. Some players don't even want to train. The manager arrives at a club where key players are mentally checked out, so he can't use them, and he can't bring in replacements either. It's a nightmare. If a player doesn't want to move to Saudi Arabia or somewhere similar, he just sits tight, drains wages, and gives minimal effort. Another major issue is the goalkeeper. United currently has no proper number one, not even a reliable number two. We're talking about fourth or fifth choice quality here. The choice of Bayender as backup is strange. And Onana, who looked like the right pick, has been an absolute disaster with repeated howlers. Then there's the injury problem. Players like Luke Shaw are great when fit, but that's a big if. You can't keep guys who only play 10% of the season. Creativity in midfield is also lacking. Bruno Fernandes is the only truly creative option. The rest are more physical and defensive. Players like Edison, Atalanta, and Douglas Luiz could bring balance. There's a major lack of quality passing. Another huge issue, there's no reliable striker. There's no true goal scorer in this squad. It's so bad that young Kobbie Mainoo is being considered as a centre-forward option. Zurski has talent, but he lacks a killer instinct in penalty box presence. He's creative but not positioned like a striker. The truth is, it's all about chemistry. Ruben Amorim has a vision, but the squad can't execute it. The problem isn't the coach. It's a disconnect between manager and players. Is there a way out? Yes. First step, change a goalkeeper and sign a trustworthy striker. There are good options out there. Mateta is one name. Solid on the counterattack, but not great with the ball at his feet. In contrast, players like Eberechi and Michael Elias are natural creators. Eberechi could be a very intriguing name. Internally, there are promising names like Lenero in defense, who's been developing well. Kobbie Mainoo is versatile and can play multiple roles, not a specialist, but still valuable. Mason Mount can be a super sub who changes the tempo if he returns to even 60% of what he showed at Chelsea. Zirkzee has shown both good and bad signs. He needs to position better, focus more on being a finisher, and less on dropping deep. He's often too far from the box to be a proper striker. So yes, Manchester United can bounce back. They have promising talent. But serious changes need to happen. Ruben Amorim's second season raises the pressure. No more excuses. Results must come now. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with that friend who still believes Manchester United can rise again.